Hi, fifth graders. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, and today's lesson is converting fractions into decimals. So yesterday we did decimals to fractions. Today we're going to do the opposite. So to turn a fraction into a decimal, the rule is just divide the numerator by the denominator. The easy way is we're just going to be using a calculator for today. So make sure you've pulled up just your calculator app on your iPad or just have a separate calculator on the side. So we're going to go through three different examples of turning fractions into decimals. The first one is, let's just start with the fraction of 3/4. So all we're going to do to turn any fraction into a decimal is to take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. So in this case, if we're starting with 3/4, I'm going to do 3 divided by 4. And that equals 0.75 or 75 hundredths. So if it goes in evenly, that's just going to be my answer. The second example we're going to do is 6/14. So if I start and do 6/14, again, I'm going to do the numerator divided by the denominator. Top number divided by bottom number. So 6 divided by 14. So in this case, I have an answer where I have many numbers after our decimal place. So in this case, what we're going to do is, this is our answer, and we are going to round just to the nearest hundredth. So what that means is I'm going to go to the hundredth place, which is 2 numbers after the decimal, and I am going to look at the number right next to it. So I'm going to go to 0.42, and then I'm going to look at that 8 right there. So when I think of rounding, anything 5 or above tells the number next door to go up. So I'm turning 0.42 into our final answer, which is 0.43 or 43 hundredths. So once I have an answer that continues to go, I just want to round it back down to the hundredth. So that would be the second example when turning any fraction to a decimal. If you have an answer that goes beyond the hundredth place, you just want to round it to the hundredth. Then we have our last example. So we're going to start with the fraction 9/27. So again, top number divided by bottom number, 9 divided by 27. So in this case, we have what's called a repeated decimal. It is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and it continues on. So again, we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So this is the answer we get, where we get repeating zeros. We're going to round to the nearest hundredth. So the way we write that is we're going to write it as 0.33, and we're going to put a line over the 3. That is the mathematical symbol for the fact that the 3's continue to repeat. So that's how, those are going to be our 3 examples that we're going to look at. So let's look at our 3 sample practice problems. The first one we're going to start with here is 7/25. Again, the rule is to just divide. Numerator divided by denominator. So 7 divided by 25. So that's going to give us an easy answer of 28 hundredths. Remember, these are equivalent, so they're just 2 different ways to say the same number. The second practice problem we're going to do here is 4/23. Again, top number divided by bottom number. So 4 divided by 23. So again, we have a nice long number. We're going to just take that and round it to the hundredths place. So if we look at our answer, we have 0.173. So we just want 2 numbers after the decimal. So I'm going to look at that third number, which is 3. The rule for rounding is anything below 5 does not change the number. So our answer here is just going to be 17 hundredths. So in this case, it wouldn't be equal. We would kind of change this to that where we're rounding it. So it'd kind of be around 0.17 hundredths, since the number does continue going. Then our third sample here is going to be 6/18. So again, top number 6 divided by bottom number 18. Again, in this case, we have a repeated decimal. So we're going to write, we have no ones, and the 3's are going to repeat. So I'm going to write only 2 places after the decimal and draw that straight line over it. That's the mathematical symbol for the fact that that answer is being repeated. So right now I want you to use what we just did, pause the video, and try the 3 independent practice problems, and then come back to check your answers. Okay, so now looking at our independent practice problems, we have 3/10. Again, the rule is top number divided by bottom number. So in this case, we have 0.3. You can leave it like that, but if you want to put that extra 0 at the end, we know that 3/10 is the same thing as 30/100. So you can either put 0.3 or you can add that extra 0 to the end since we're practicing putting two numbers after the decimal place. So you can do either one of those. They are equivalent. Next independent practice problem was 9/13. Again, it is top number divided by bottom number. Again, we have an extended answer, and we just want to bring this down to just two decimal places after the decimal. In this case, our answer says 0.692. We look at the third number. The third number, 2, is below 5, so it does not change the value of the number in front of it. So we're just going to write this as 0.69 or 69/100. And then our last independent practice problem is 5/12. So again, top number 5 divided by bottom number 12. Okay, so in this case, we see 0.416, and then we see that it constantly repeats. So again, we want to go to just the second number after the decimal. So I have 0.41. The third number is a 6. Since the 6 is greater than 5, it does impact the number 1. So we're going to round it up to 0.42. So when you are doing today's homework, please make sure you're reviewing this video. Plus, you can go back and watch the lesson preview video. So our homework tonight says the same thing. We're going to convert, okay? So all we're going to do is do top number divided by bottom number. And you can definitely use a calculator and make sure that you're following any one of our 3 examples that we had up here in our notes.